Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for coming today. At the outset, I'd like to say that I favor providing the context for diplomatic dialogue, and as you say, Dr. Alterman, and then from there looking for opportunities to escalate that up. And I appreciate the comments about the various threads we could potentially pull that might lead to opportunities or enhance the probability of opportunities for dialogue, in the hopes that we could achieve the objectives of this hearing and the other stated objectives. What I worry about, though, is are we all operating off the presupposition that there is an opportunity for rationality here? When you have the president of the country making statements that are beyond volatile, they are apocalyptic, is there an ideological drive here that is begging that type of outcome? Now, what counters that, of course, is the question as to how much power he really truly has. Are there other elements in society that are seeing that as an opportunity that leads to increasing Iranian influence throughout the region, which they perceive to be in their best interest? Or is he also making such statements simply to position themselves to have better leverage in order to secure themselves in their own power as their own country? Now, again, that would be based upon the presuppositions that we are dealing with some sort of rational intention here, but that's a real cause for concern. And I think, are we naive in this regard, in that we are, again, looking for the opportunities for dialogue and hope that they can lead to some outcomes that maybe one day would create a whole new springtime of relationship with Iran and America and some sort of common ground? Respond to that, please.
Congressman, I think there are rational explanations for what the Iranian government does. We don't need to resort to irrationality to explain it. I think we have to be very careful to separate rationality and hostility. And quite frankly, I can live with a hostile Iran because we're a much stronger power. It is very hard to live with an irrational Iran, and therefore, one of the things we have to put tremendous effort into understanding is this an irrational power or merely a hostile one? Much of the evidence I've seen is on the side of hostility rather than irrationality.
I think we make a mistake in every time we run against a world leader, whether it was Saddam Hussein or Ahmadinejad, because he doesn't see things our way, he's irrational. He's illogical, because if we were him, we would do it differently. I think that's probably a mistake. There are rational reasons. I don't think Ahmadinejad is a totally irrational actor. Saddam wasn't either. But the point is, a lot of Ahmadinejad's comments, especially regarding Israel, are made for external consumption. The question I would have is, what does he say when he's at home? Does he use those same arguments with the Iranians? And what about his claims to divine connection or calculation? Should we confuse his positions and his assumptions with those of all of Iran? I don't know the answer, but I think that's a good question.
That is a good question, and I think that's an important point. But I think one of the key the problems here, though, is the narrowing of time in which the opportunity, I don't want to say opportunity, the gravity of the situation as the technology develops to carry out such aims, if they are his true intention, that window is closing very, very rapidly, and this is of grave concern. Now, I want to set the stage for these comments by earlier saying I think it is prudential, it's in the best interest of the United States, Iran, the Middle East, to look for opportunities to dialogue and to diminish this tension rapidly and hopefully build the possibility of some alternative outcomes. This time is very, very short, and you see the rest of the Middle Eastern countries starting to react to that reality.
Briefly say that the rhetoric that President Ahmadinejad has employed is with complete precedent. I mean, there's nothing new, unusual in the rhetoric that he employed that every other state actor has not employed. So if those rhetoric indicate irrationality, then this has been an irrational state for 3
But
years.
it's entangled with potential for nuclear weapons development.
Right. The idea of marriage of rhetoric and capability, although Iran did have a weapons mass destruction capability before us crossing any sort of a nuclear threshold.